Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Tuesday, April 5th, 2022. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. First off, thank you very much for joining me yesterday for our monthly market outlook. Again, we have that recording up and available to you, so if you have not yet watched it, or if you want to rewatch it, you can click the link in the description below and you'll find that recording. Again, we covered stocks, futures, crypto, a ton of charts, and went easily over an hour and a half. And again, a lot of great content for you there. Let's take a look here at the ES. Right now, the ES in the daily time frame here, showing an early failure at the previous session's high just to begin the day. You're seeing a hard spike up to that area and then a drop back below it. At the moment, this again is the fade after trend day idea we talked about late yesterday afternoon. The fade after trend day into this zone, which again, if you fail to hold the previous day's midpoint, in this case 45.5388, that will open up the potential to see an outside day down. So again, where are we in this cycle right now? We have come out a strong day yesterday, especially in tech. And today could either become a digestive sideways day, or if it fails through the previous session's midpoint, that can open up a bearish outside day down, which could signify a further pullback here in the near term. So keeping an eye on this, especially at the previous session's midpoint here. Taking a look at the NQ, big time strength in the previous day. You got a modified crossover buy signal there, stop run day through the previous highs there, and today again seeing an early rejection of prices beyond the previous session's high. So an early rejection of those prices, price now pulling back. If there's a failure to continue to hold, or a failure to hold or push beyond the previous high there, you're going to see a likely fall back toward the previous session's midpoint, which takes you back into the 900s here. Let's see, the 14,987s. 987 is that midpoint. Right now we're trading 112. So again, could be a decent little pullback into that mid. A failure to hold that mid, like the ES, would open up the continuation down. So we're going to see one of these days right here, or one of these days right there, where we go deep into the previous session's range, or do we become mostly just range bound? Given the rejection we've seen early on, there's a good shot here to continue to pull back early in the day. But again, the midpoint will be where bulls need to keep bid for at least a check mark attempt to the upside. All right, let's take a look here at crude oil. Now, crude oil didn't quite get as low as that 95.96 support. It bounced a little early, closing beyond the previous session's high, and seeing a rejection of the previous week's close that suggested a push back to the previous week's midpoint. We mentioned that the previous week's mid could be in play at 105.36, and it could be a 1 to 2 day move, and today's high is 105.59. So it reached that 105.36 in overnight trading and reached the midpoint of the previous week's range. Now that 105.36 is going to be very important moving forward, because above it opens up a continuation perhaps back to the previous session's high, and the previous session's high would take you back to about the 113s. A failure to get through that 105.36 rather, and that would probably open up a return back toward the previous close. So this is going to be very important to see how we proceed forward. Crude oil trading in a range today of just 32% of average range, so there is room for expansion later today. All right, let's take a look now at Bitcoin. Bitcoin here bouncing at least a little bit here today, up 2 1/3% right now. Rounded bottom still in play, but right here, very tightly coiled price action. Again, this looks like it's building some energy here, and that energy can go either way, although right now the swing is to the upside. when you have that type of compression here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days here, where it's just kind of coiling up, boom, you could see one big move that comes out of it. It reminds me of how price coiled up here just before we saw this move before, or any number of moves here where it coils up and boom, you see this kind of explosive breakout move. So again, given the uptrending market, given the bullish Pima trigger zone and the buy signals, everything suggests more upside ahead. But right now we're building energy, and price needs to push through that 47,500. Above 47,500 we'll begin to squeeze at some point. Perhaps not today, but maybe in a day or two soon here we could be looking at an upside continuation ahead. Alright, taking a look at Ether futures. This one's not up quite as much as Bitcoin, up just 0.8% right now. Very narrow day, 30% of average range. So a lot of narrow ranges here so far today. Again, very nice upward slope, very good intensity to that slope, a nice push into the Pima trigger zone that's been defended. Again, at some point we may need to come in, test the pivot range and bounce, but this thing's been holding firm here. Not much action here so far today, but you know, not the easiest to buy on these highs after we've just made a huge move up. So again, would be nice to see some sort of discount here, failed new low, in order to buy the dip and get this thing going back up. Ultimately, we're looking for at least a return back to the previous year's close, 36.85 on this move. And at some point we'd be looking to push through that level to start reclaiming prices back above it. Alright, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.